storyline for this game. I have to see if PSG Talon, is neutralizing the mission going to be enough, or does Impunity have enough firepower in the rest of their team to bring home the dub? Impunity up against PSG Talon, third game for tonight. Let's take a gaze.
Hi. Some friendly top lane interactions.
Yeah. Had a bit of this last night as well. It's good to see the trend is continuing, but Driver not really reciprocating, and now the game has been paused.
Oh.
Well, it had to happen.
Yeah.
We made it to the third game at least with that one, so
We did.
not too bad. I think the same thing happened yesterday as well. It was like the third game, first pause.
Yeah. Okay, one little interesting thing here is that Wako has been forced to take the cleanse on the Lucian up against, I think it's what, the Yuumi and the Sejuani. So that does kind of lower the bot lane kill pressure quite a bit. And when you're playing up against the Zeri Yuumi, you really need to be putting that pressure on, right? So not having Ignite for that 2v2 is a pretty big loss. At the same time, you're going to have to take the cleanse.
Yeah, definitely. A small note to make, but definitely, it's going to be impactful for them because not having the extra combat summoner can definitely be the difference between a kill and an escaped victim of the Lucian army. Hopefully it doesn't come to that for them.
Yeah, I'm pretty curious. Ryze is going to get a lot of priority over this mid lane, but it's whether or not can you get to bot lane consistently enough to actually pick up the kills, because I feel like whenever you're diving the Zeri Yuumi lane, there's actually quite a lot of things you have to get through. First, you have to get them low enough, even though they have sustain, and then they've also got 3 combat summoners. So normally, you're expecting probably like 2 visits to bot lane before you actually pick up the kills, right? Before you really seal the deal, and that can be difficult, finding that many windows in the game. I think we might have a mouse issue, maybe? No, actually it's a settings of some sort.
How can you even tell?
Well, the ref's looking at the screen, right? It's got to be a settings thing.
Man, detective shock coming out. Might need a career change in that one. I didn't spot that. Oh, looks pretty happy. Hopefully we're getting back in the game soon.
Yeah, he's smiling. It's working. Oh,
oh, they're back. He's doing some more fiddling.
What? Yeah, what would it be?
Yeah, bit of a side note, but those those like one-eared headphones that the refs are wearing, I feel like those are so uncomfortable.
I don't think I've ever worn one of those.
Really?
No.
You ever worked in like customer support or anything?
No.
Oh yeah. I haven't either.
I play mid, not support.
I've worn one of them. I don't even know when, but I've definitely worn one before, and it's just like it feels weird because the weight is like not balanced on both sides. So you've got like this heavy thing on one side and then just nothing on the other. I don't know why they even do that. I guess just so you can. I don't know. It's weird.
It looks like they've actually brought the head ref out.
Oh.
This is a big problem.
Oh no.
Yeah, but getting back to this game, I think that yeah, I think top lane again, as we've kind of seen throughout most of this meta, does just kind of end up as an island, and then it comes down to, okay, if the teams are still even at say 15 minutes, the top laners then can have some sort of impact, but before then, they just do their own thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's somehow like both a lot of room to work with and then not much with the Cassandra Jax, because we've seen it get like quite heated actually in those side matchups, especially when they've sort of had their first couple of items. It can really go either way, but I definitely do agree that especially in the sort of pre-6 levels, there's not much that's going to be going on. We have been told that it is a player microphone issue, so hopefully that gets resolved pretty quickly. I think those are usually some of the easier ones to fix, as opposed to like, I don't know, games not loading or FPS bugs or whatever, but I'll back into the game, thankfully.
Okay, so yeah, there's 3 bot sums, cleanse, we talked about all that sort of stuff. Oh, actually some level 1, the respect time is over. Now it's time to battle.
Yeah, Driver's really not having any of it. He's got a serious face on. Archer does get one smackdown on the Cassante, but going to be healed up pretty quickly by the Doran's shield. Oh, Drive actually going for this ward as well. Oh,
I think he's just looking to push him off the buff if he started it.
Yeah.
That was get the ward though.
What is that skin? I can't see it anymore. Oh wow, this is a weird position for Drive to be in. He knows that Usha has started the bot side, so he's just kind of working his way through the back of the minion wave. That's such a weird trade.
Yeah, with the lethal tempo, he can just kind of look to fight him, but now it's such a creep deficit. kind of just wants to walk away from it. But yeah, weird start to the top side. Don't often see that. But something we have often seen is this bot lane matchup. And it pretty much plays out the same way every time. Of Zeri Yuumi get priority early. Lucian Nami start to kind of get it back when they get the Dirk. Then after that, kind of see what happens based on the teams.
Yeah, I think the worst part is that we see a lot of trades like this, but then nothing, like 99% of the time, nothing really comes of it because both sides just have such good sustain options. Keep them pretty healthy. Lucian now working his way up to the top side, whereas Alex passing towards bot.
Yeah. And I think, by the way, just looking at these comps, outside of maybe the Stylus, this is about as meta as you can possibly get. This is really the just standard picks at the moment. And they're standard for good reason. They are very strong. Thankfully, next patch, we will be moving to 13.3. Hopefully with ASOL enabled as well.
Oh, that could be interesting.
Now, Rise, Yubao is getting a bit of priority here, but you're not expecting to use your priority that early. You're kind of waiting for bot lane to get a little bit stronger. Take some low health bars here, though. And Alex is in the area.
Yeah, potentially a window for Impunity here. But the wave is pushing into PSG's tower, so not too much threat on them for now. Alex instead going to turn his sights. Oh, exhaustively dropped and a cleanse in the bot lane. Alex is nowhere near. Waco dropped very low. Atlan getting a few Qs off on the back end of that trade.
I think surely Alex looks for this, right?
Yeah, a lot of summoners bid from Impunity. All their combat summoners are down now, whereas Waco only had to burn the cleanse.
Mission actually is mid-prior as well.
Yeah, Alex and Mission both here. Waco and Woody looking like they're going to be in trouble. Alex should take the initial aggro here. TP does come in to respond, but it's a little bit too late. Woody dropped very low. Mission picks up the first blood, followed by Alex with the second kill onto Woody. Or onto Waco, rather. Yubao trying to see what he can do now with the red buff. Flashes over. Ooh, Mission dropped very low. Does hit that last Q. Double kill picked up for Yubao.
He does. He's
might be a triple here as well. The cat is all alone. Oh, saving from Atlan. But no, both of them might be the target. Actually, Yubao is relentless. He might just be able to pick up this kill here. One more order would do it.
Oh, Yubao. What a monster, though. He's just running him down.
Red buff so close to taking that last damage point left for Atlan, but he is going to make it out by expending the flash. Saves his pet kitten as well. 2 for 2 in the end.
Yeah, so I think, I'm not sure how Mission managed to get mid-prior, but anyway, gets down for the 4-man. They're missing sums, and the TP is perhaps a little slow, but is going to be in time to pick up kills off the back end. I think these PSG members could have probably been cleaned up a little bit easier by Impunity. And then, on the way out, it was a little scuffed. The Yubao having red buff here definitely makes it a lot easier. Can continually have them slowed, which obviously makes chasing easier, as well as hitting all these skill shots.
Yeah, it feels like it looked really good for Impunity, and they do pick up the first blood, so definitely not bad for them, but also I do feel like that dive could have been executed a lot cleaner. It feels like they kind of switched aggro during that, which let both Waco and Woody survive a little bit longer than they should have, but Husha's looking in. Yubao has the prior this time. Mission stuck in lane, but it's going to be a Vault Breaker traded over. Oh, Alex is still walking up, gets rooted up. Vault Breaker is still on cooldown. Husha not going to be able to help out much more, but Alex forced out of his jungle.
Yeah, it's nice that they forced Alex out, but Yubao invests a lot of tempo for that, so it's going to not have mid-priority, at least for a couple more waves here, as Mission gets to kind of reset the wave.
Ooh. Mission getting a little bit antsy there, but not going to trade in onto Yubao, letting him collect up that wave.
The Husha, he starts up the Dragon, most likely will get picked up now they have the bot priority with that Lucian Dirk. And it is going to go over. Shouldn't be any contest coming in through here. Let's say it's a decent start here for both teams. I don't think anyone really has an insane advantage at this point. It's more just like where the advantages have been put, right? Yuba having 2 kills. Now PSG, they could be in trouble.
Atlan dashing in. He's got Alex on the back end as well, ready to follow up. Does have the charge still available. Waco no flash, but does dash away. Oh, not quite enough to get the stun down, but now Husha's here as well on the respond. Waco is very low though, so can't follow up too much. Ultimately, Husha's just going to be there to make sure that everything gets disengaged and the bot laners stay alive.
Yeah, very, very close. And I think this game now, a lot is going to be on Yubao's shoulders in order to carry this game, because he does have the lead, but in the meantime, his bot lane is falling pretty far behind in a matchup where they need to get ahead.
Yeah, Waco and Woody often ending up on the receiving end of a lot of these trades. Not a good deal for them. Oh, still gets hit by that projectile as well.
Yeah, Yumi is so obnoxious.
Impunity pulling slightly ahead with a gold lead.
Yeah, I think so far, if you're Impunity, you're probably feeling pretty good about this. Even though Yubao is getting fed, I think it's fairly easy to deal with the Rise with this much CC on your team. That being said, a fed Rise is not easy to deal with anyway. You know, it's like easier to deal with this comp, but fed Rise obviously is very difficult. But PSG, the Lucian Nami falling behind, I think it's a pretty big deal. This all kind of started from those early trades that didn't go in their favor, which then led to that bot dive. So perhaps some uncharacteristic bot lane mistakes being made, kind of leading to this situation. And Yubao could maybe look bot again. Does have the Rise ult, but will run into Alex.
Yeah, he's going to be able to dissuade that Rise roam. And yeah, like you said, Waco and Woody feeling like not their usual selves. Usually we see them pretty dominant, especially when they're put on a power pick like the Lucian Nami, but really not able to find the agency that they'd want so far. Yubao, I hope he remembers that Alex, he did just see him a couple seconds ago, but no, chains get hit. No flash available for Yubao. Alex going to drop the flail, drop the stun, drop the second stun as well. Husha is in the area, but isn't going to be able to help out too much. Yubao actually makes it over the wall, and Husha's there to stop it. I'm not sure how Yubao's managed to accomplish that, but just not quite enough damage from the Silas and Sejuani. Yubao, I feel like he got so lucky there.
Yeah, he gets out and didn't even have the Merc Tread, so just kind of face tanked all that and still managed to survive.
Yeah, I feel like, wow, that was really surprising, and it doesn't bode well for Impunity if you're not able to, you know, take Yubao down in such a favorable situation like that. Hitting all your CC abilities for their full duration and not getting the kill must really hurt.
Yeah, now Alex is starting up the Herald. Meanwhile, Husha will look for something bot side. There is no defensive sums other than this flash up for Impunity's bot lane. But without Yubao here.
Oh, Alan actually going on the aggressive. I like that actually. They make sure to pop the final chapter and mainly just to get rid of the wave. But wait, Husha's here. Lots of CC drop down onto Alan, and he is going to fall down. Just as I compliment him, he doesn't want to receive it and ends up receiving a whole lot worse.
Yeah, I think that was really weird from Impunity's bot lane. I do like it to begin with, getting some sort of trade to sort of disincentivize the dive, but looking so aggressively while your jungler is on Herald, especially after they kill Herald, because, you know, it announces to the whole map exactly where Alex is, and they still try and play really aggressive on the weak side. So yeah, pretty greedy from Impunity, and honestly a very avoidable death, but a really nice pickup for Wako, right? You feel a lot better now with all that AD in your inventory. Actually, look at Lucian's inventory right now.
Swords.
He does. The swordsman at work, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I really did like the initial play of going slightly aggressive when PSG weren't expecting it to make sure that the wave is cleared. But going aggressive after that is just a mistake, plain and simple.
Now, Rod of Ages has been completed for mission here, so is scaling up nicely and has himself a small CS lead in the 1v1.
Yep, I mean, that's a pretty decent CS lead.
Yeah, part of it is because Yubao has been doing so much roaming, so it's not completely unexpected. At the same time, though, yeah, you normally do see Silas behind in this matchup, so being ahead does feel pretty good. Gold difference is in Impunity's favor. And I think that does feel good. Again, we kind of saw earlier in the day, if the Yumi team is the one with the gold lead, it's more gold than it looks like, right? A small gold lead can be worth a lot more.
Yeah, and Nature already quite close to his mythic item. I wonder what it's going to be. I would expect probably the Chevaliers. Seems like a lot of these teams are favoring that over something like the Moonstone. But both are honestly pretty good.
Yeah, now Dragon is spawning in 2 seconds. Alan could be in trouble.
Alan gets caught up against cease and desist. Tidal wave doesn't connect as well as the bubble. So now Alan's going to turn around, dropping Woody very low. Waker trying to get some damage as well to dissuade any further action. Husha escapes with his life. So does Woody. And it actually looks pretty dicey. I'm not sure. That CC just wasn't quite long enough for Woody to chain it. And timing is just a little bit off for them.
Yeah, I think Alex also, off the back of that, could have killed Woody if he was willing to invest the flash ult, but maybe decides that it's not worth it, is going to pick up the dragon anyway. Actually, Husha might try turn around. They do have the mid priority currently.
Oh, Yubao's walking down. Oh, does interrupt the Vault Breaker, so Husha not going to have any CC available for the next few seconds while that comes back up. Yubao, though, looking on mission, trying to deal as much damage as he can. Dragon chopping down to 2k as well. I think PSG are going to have to give this one up.
Yeah, and the Yuumi team already picking up a dragon as well as a sizable CS lead in the bot lane. I think Impunity, they've definitely kind of navigated the most difficult part of this early game fairly well. Especially after Yubao got those 2 kills, but it hasn't led to any more pressure bot. And a lot of gold is going to be picked up for Atlan here.
Yeah, definitely good looks from Impunity. In previous games, it seems like they've, been semi-reliant on Mission to help the side lane secure leads, but this time they've kind of been able to do that by themselves with the help of Alex.
Yeah, does look like it. Now, I think Mission probably will just go for the... Oh, will he go Mercs or will he just go the CDR boots? Actually, not too sure. Yeah, it does go the CDR boots. So not a ton of point and click CC on the other side. The next Herald is in 2 more minutes. And I think Impunity are already strong enough where they might be able to actually think about fighting this. Normally you're pretty comfortable giving up, say, the first 2 dragons and a couple heralds just to kind of secure your Yuumi scaling. But if you're already at the point where you can contest fights, you're feeling really, really good about that.
Yeah, definitely Mythic advantage already for Impunity. They've got Mythics on everyone, but the top laner so far, Driver, not quite there, but definitely close. Whereas on the side of PSG, only the Road of Ages completed, and the Iceborne Gauntlet for RG as well. Meanwhile, the Kimpunk Chainsword for Husha. Heal cut definitely is very valuable against stuff like the Yuumi, like the Silas. So not too bad, but I think the fact that Waco hasn't picked up his Mythic yet does, signify a bit of a strength deficit for them.
Yeah, hopefully he is able to pick that up before the next important fight.
Going all out. Driving Hooper Driver out of his own turret, and Arja going to chase that one down. Oh, 1 hit away. Is he going to be able to connect that 3rd Q? I think he is. Oh, runs it down. Driver wasting the counter-strike though. I'm not sure where the word Hooper came from, but he's just rent-free on my mind, I guess. But Arj going to pick up that kill in convincing fashion. Driver expends the flash as well, so big loss on head side. Whereas on the bot side, Alex seeing what he can do around here. Mission's in the area too, but Yubel...
It could look for a 4v4. They have items and Wako still doesn't have his Mythic.
Yeah, blue buff smited away for Alex. But PSG and Impunity both not going to look for anything further just yet.
Alex is going to be in the area. There might actually be a 3v3 breaking out here in just a moment if Husha decides to enter the river.
Oh, that's where I got it from, Husha, Hooper. That's
okay.
the one, even though it wasn't on the screen. Anyway, gold lead has pretty much evened up now.
Bot's health's very low and Alex is going to try secure it.
Well, Alan's not scared at all. Alex actually is dashing forward, doesn't quite connect the Drowning ultimate. Waco dashing out of the way. Yubao trading aggressively onto mission as well.
And neither of these champs really take damage.
Wow, that's a well-aimed Q.
Now Herald is up and I think PSG should be able to pick this up. They have the stronger top laner right now and Alex just invested his Sejuani ult bot side. So I think Husha should be able to grab this Herald now. But where do you use it? The top tower is already fallen, and both mid and bot, I think, are pretty healthy at this point. Ooh. You might just use it to try secure the next dragon instead.
They're not taking that very quickly, and Impunity are now kind of in the area, or it is on 2k now, so probably no chance for a steal, but we'll see if Alex tries anything here.
Okay.
It's just going to be given over.
It's picked up. Alex has a pretty nice angle here, actually dodges out the vision. Wako, though, he has the cleanse, so even if he's caught, does have a second chance. And Dragon's in a minute here. I think both teams really want to fight this. Pretty important. Alex will be resetting and probably will deploy back to that bot side. I think whoever has control of this Dragon early can make it very difficult for the enemy team to face check. There's a lot of pick tools across the board. We'll see a replay of this top... Oh, a cinematic replay of this top lane fight. I'm not... Okay, so it's the longest Cassante ult probably of all time, and he just gets chased down. I think part of the reason why this fight went so bad is Driver still didn't have his Mythic, and I think he was sitting on a lot of gold, but isn't it insane how much distance Cassante can cover? He just has so many dashes, and with the Ghost as well, he's smiling to himself. Maybe that champion isn't fair, Driver's thinking.
Yeah, maybe I should ban that in draft phase next time. But yeah, forced to burn the flash, and Cassante just dashing over... relative ease. Does suck to be in that position. But Ocean Dragon is now alive. Both teams sitting on 1 so far. Impunity are going to be the ones to start it up.
Yeah, they have much better control. I'd be surprised if PSG just want to completely... Yeah, there's a lot of pings coming down, so PSG, they want to contest this. Drop the Herald mid for its priority.
I think they're pretty slow. It's on 3k now, but TP coming in from Archer as well. Husha finds the engage onto Alan, gets rooted down, but Alan is still alive. Oh, Archer is going to be able to find him with the all-out most likely. Yep, does pick him off on the side there. Now Missions trying to see what he can do, but Archer's on the backline once again. Cease and desist dropped onto Husha. Drops very low. Mission not able to quite find that last hit onto him. Chains do connect though. Yumi now all by herself. Wako finding himself in the pit somehow. I'm not sure how he managed that, but Alex forced the flash out of the way. Driver has the leap strike available probably pretty soon, but stunned up now. Does manage to get over the wall, and now Arju looking to see if he can pick off Alex as well. And Driver actually gets flashed on by Woody. Newbelt probably going to pick him up. Yeah, in sync. 2 kills. Arju on a rampage. Newbelt on a killing spree. And that's 5 kills for the side of PSG Talon.
Yeah, and I think this fight, way better played from PSG. I think in that fight, both the PSG solo laners did so much more damage than their counterparts, and Atlan also was just taken out so early. Let's take a look at this fight again. So I think the problem was Atlan ended up getting his dash cancelled here, I believe. Yeah, so tried to get it, but ended up just like in the middle here. And Arja on the Cassandre just took him out back and took him out.
Took him out back and took him out in D. And now the fight gets pretty messy here. Wako ends up separated from the rest of his team. He gets jumped on by Driver, forced to flash away. And when you've got to run to the pit, you know, you're pretty much doomed then. You're hoping that your team will be able to clean up fast enough, but not going to be the case. PSG, though, they don't stop there. They keep chasing down Alex and Driver as well. I think both Yubel and Woody flash over the wall to try and chase that. And yeah, both of them, at least, you know, Driver and Alex both dying at the same time. They're in sync.
Indeed. Yeah, have a look at the damage graph for this fight. I mean, the solo laners as well as the AD just put out so much more damage during that fight. And I think Atlan going down that early when he is, you know, a big benefactor of the Impunity early game here was really problematic, right? Like, if you're this fed on the Zeri, you should definitely be outperforming your opponent, but crucially falling down in that fight. And now it's going to be very difficult against this fed Ryze and Cassandre to actually deal enough damage before the fight ends.
Yeah, Atlan just getting caught a bit too far up, and his team not able to offer enough peel in that situation. Means that PSG are going to pull ahead in gold.
Now, Impunity did manage to pick up the Dragon there, but you have to think that, at least in the current state of the game, Dragon win condition isn't super important. If you can sometimes just get to that Dragon late, have a better position, and win the fight after, it can be very worth it.
Pico dropping the culling, but
and not too much happening. And the Jax vs Cassandre counterpick definitely has not worked out. I think it was actually a blind Jax and Cassandre picked into it. We really get different messages from this matchup, I feel like, every time, because this time the Jax has been solo killed and heavily outperformed in team fights. So at that point, it's like, why do you pick it? But then in some of these other games, I think we actually saw earlier Jax solo killer Cassandre. So maybe it's just player difference at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely can go both ways. Mission might be looking on mid lane here. Alex is waiting in the wings as well. Not sure who would be the target, but they are going to back off for now. Important to note that Archer in the side lane has got 2 completed items as well as the Bramble Vest, so it's really hard for Driver to be able to deal with them when it's not under his turret.
Yeah, and he's actually taking towers in the side lane, so not what you'd expect up against the Jax, but certainly doing a good job here. And the next Dragon, it feels like hasn't been any time at all, but is up in another minute and 20 seconds, and I think PSG this time have a much better team fight.
Oh yeah, look at that gold swing straight from the 17-minute mark. It was previously in control for Impunity, but they do slip, and they slip even further after that last Dragon fight as well. Really looking a little bit tough, at least for these next few minutes, while PSG are kind of in their item spike moment.
Yeah, I think Impunity, they were in a pretty good spot after the early game. You've got ahead playing the Yumi comp, but just a really crucial mis-execution in that first fight has kind of put it the other way, and it can be quite hard, I think, to play champions like Silas and Jax from this far behind, especially into like lots of tanky targets here. Now 35 more seconds. There will be a lot of control, I would think, going over to PSG early, and if Alex can't find some engage on a crucial squishy target, I don't really see Impunity winning this fight.
Yeah, a lot of the onus is going to be on him to find that initial pick. Waco playing very far up in the mid lane, securing the mid prior. Isn't too scared because he has both summoners available. Husha's got a pretty decent angle on this though. Doesn't actually get spotted yet. Mission is walking towards the bot lane. Might actually get looked on here. Husha and Yubao in the area. Mission has no idea. Does get rooted down. Vault Breaker doesn't quite connect by the cease and desist. Ooh, doesn't get dropped actually. They're just focusing on getting damage down onto Mission.
I feel like the W usage was questionable from Yuba. I think they could have perhaps killed Mission there, but still a big win. You get the chunk and you get the flash. And I think at this point, Impunity, you just have to play to trade away the dragon. If you can get some stuff here topside, could definitely be worth it. Like, since you've got 2 dragons already, you're not too worried about giving this over. At the same time, though, I'm not sure you feel that good about the trade. A tier 1 at 23 minutes is, you know, not the best. Obviously, it's better than nothing, but after Mission's caught out, very difficult to contest.
Yeah, Waco once again looking in on mid lane. Questionable culling there, potentially expecting Atlan to dash over the wall. But Atlan holds it. PSG looking to really pressure down this tower. Stun does connect on the Waco. Cleanse popped, but he does get stunned up. Ooh. The Realm Warp does take him out to safety in the nick of time. Well done from Yubao. Thumbs up from him. Looking out for his fellow team members. And that actually really saved PSG. If Waco goes down there, it's definitely a potential Baron angle for Impunity. Yeah,
that was a really nice rise up from Yubao, and also just shows how much damage Atlan can do if he's actually alive in the team fight. So.
Yeah, it turns out you do pump out a lot more DPS when you're alive rather than dead. And Atlan figuring that one out. All summoners available for the Impunity bot lane. So definitely feeling a lot more comfortable to be able to step up, especially when you've got Alex setting up those CC abilities for you on the key targets. Waco, once again, looking on Atlan. Mission picks up the tidal wave, but does get mostly blocked by Arja, who is the only one who tanks that one.
Yeah. Dragon here. Still 4 minutes away. Don't think there's going to be too many fights before then.
Yeah, it's interesting to see so many members playing towards the bot side, even though there's no objective available. It does seem like Driver is the main target for now. Husha and Arja. Arja's going to walk straight past Mission and look for Driver. Leap Strike gonna make it out with the flash as well. Good pickup there for PSG, and Impunity not able to get much else traded for that. And also PSG getting back on the midway first is really good for them.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting here. Despite the fact that there is no real objectives up, both teams still looking for quite a lot here, right? They're looking for the engages, really trying to get something done.
Yeah, seems like the spectators might need to update the windows, but regardless, oh look, it's gone. PSG looking to wrestle control of the mid lane priority. That mid tower is so low, you have to imagine PSG really want to take this one down as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think as soon as it drops,
ooh,
yeah, okay.
Sejani goes wide. Arja takes the brunt of the CC, but it's still relatively healthy. Goes unstoppable. Now Driver on the backline finds a 3-man counter-strike stun. Husha now the target. Atlan chasing them down so far, but the turret blocks him from going any further. Yeah, very good fight there from Impunity. I think that counter-strike from Driver really sets them up for success, and now looking towards the Baron.
Yeah, huge damage dealt there. They've kind of forced PSG off, and they're going to start this. I actually thought that was solo kill on the Jax, the way he stunned 3 people there.
Impunity actually choosing to back away, I think. Pretty smart decision. PSG had already healed up and were ready to get back into it. Impunity were taking that down very quickly though, so definitely scary to see, you know, what the result of that can be in the fight, you know, 5 minutes from now when they've got even more items in their back pocket.
Yeah, Atlan definitely at the point now where he's dealing quite a lot of damage. And PSG, perhaps the biggest weakness of their comp is that they really lack any form of range other than this Lucian. It's pretty difficult to actually deal damage onto the Zeri other than kind of, you know, a Cassante Vi lockdown. But I think if Atlan positions well, it should be difficult. And I really think your eyes should be on Atlan for a lot of these team fights. It really comes down to, can he put out the required DPS despite the fact that there is a lot of lockdown?
Yeah, you can definitely feel the range deficit starting to hurt PSG. They have to, you know, put in so many resources into finishing off that mid-tier 1 turret, even though it's already such low HP. Waco does have the rapid fire cannon, but, you know, having that one extra auto at a longer range isn't going to mean too much in the grand scheme of things.
Our third drag does spawn in a minute, and actually a lot of control around this Baron area right now. PSG, they probably won't look for it. but it might make Impunity try and check. And there's a lot of engage tools from both teams, so if you step up, okay, actually starting it with all their control. Impunity, they perhaps don't expect this just yet, but they should know now. They blue trinketed out.
Yeah, Waco is here now, but definitely going down at a substantially lower rate than when Impunity were on it. And now Husha looking onto Alex, doesn't quite connect the Vault Breaker. A lot of abilities traded back and forth, tied away from Mission, doesn't find anyone but Archer. And now Impunity trying to step forward in the river. Waco usually looking on the chase now, does have the culling available, is choosing to save it for now, but watch Driver on the flank. He does have a good angle here if PSG step too far forward.
Yeah, so both teams really angling to try find something. Both ADCs need to position quite carefully here.
Driver's still looking.
Waco's kind of playing with fire.
Waco's really far up, does get caught out by this running ult, but does get cleansed up as well. Husha now looking on the return side of that, but look at Driver, he's on the flank. Might be able to get a little bit, but Husha dropping the season assist does fall down to Atlan. Yubel forced the realm up out of there. Waco trying to do as much damage as he can, but Arjun, now the only sole member of PSG still fighting, gets shut down by Atlan once again, and now Impunity looking towards the Baron themselves.
Yeah, I think really questionable execution from PSG there. The start, actually, they might come back. They're going to try fight at 3v5.
PSG Talon, the killing isn't connecting much at all. Gets some bullets onto Atlan, but it's going to be the Baron Nashor picked up by Alex.
Yeah, so massive win for Impunity there. I think PSG, they start the Baron to bring Impunity to them, which I think is a great start, right? You can bring them in, you have the control. If you can find a way to engage on Atlan, it's really good, and we'll see that in the replay here. Both teams, though, I feel like spaced really well, and I think Vi never really found the angle onto Atlan, so you just get to freehand Driver as well. Has this massive flank. I think maybe shouldn't have Rise ulted, maybe should have just kited up and continue to kite back. Maybe wait out the Zerial and then look to re-engage.
Yeah, PSG end up very separated, and actually Impunity picking up the Dragon as well. Third one for them. Soul Point. Next one up again in 5 minutes, and Ocean Soul is really scary for the Impunity side. Definitely going to find a lot of value from it, given how they like to fight.
Yeah, and there's a lot of towers up here that Impunity haven't managed to claim yet. So not only will they get the Baron, but they're also probably going to get quite a lot of gold here. Waco doesn't have the cleanse, so has to be quite careful how he's positioning in these upcoming team fights. Actually dashing in.
Wow, that is really interesting. Alex ult goes wide. Yeah, I feel like you don't get much from dashing forward there. A couple of orders onto Alex isn't going to mean anything, really. He's so tanky at this stage in the game. Mission picking up the bot turret as well. Now they're turning their sights towards that inner mid lane turret. The Mission is going to actually keep on pushing towards the inhib. Yubel and Husha. Well, they do have a 4-man realm warp in. Mission's going to be the target. Season assist. Lockdown does have the stopwatch, but I don't think he's going to make it out of this one alive. Flashing to try and make it out of there. Cullen comes down. Actually is going to survive. All out from Arja. Is going to find him in the end. Now Driver on the run as well. Dropped a very low HP. But Yubel flashes forward, finds the route. And this is actually looking really good for PSG. Yubel dealing so much damage. Atlan trying to weave in some autos while dodging abilities, but does get rooted up and stunned and dead from the side of Waco. Finds the shutdown onto Atlan. Atlan really trying as much as he can to dish out maximum DPS, but as soon as he gets hit by that 1 CC ability, it's all over for him.
Yeah, and PSG, I really like how they played that. They went for the Rise ult and they get Mission. We'll actually see this in the replay. Yeah, so the Rise ult to begin with, I think, is really, really smart. They're going to kill Mission. They're going to get him out of the fight. You know, even if you don't end up killing him straight away, he's too low to impact the fight from here on out. So it's a really good start. And I think Impunity, they kind of overreacted. I think you could have played this a bit slower. I don't think Driver needed to lose all his HP there. And at the back end, like you said, Atlan was doing a lot of DPS, but actually gets hit by a Nami bubble with flash up, I believe. Yeah, and he did get rooted by the Rise. Okay, fair enough. Can't flash. It does go down, but yeah, well played from PSG.
Yeah, that's a bit of a rough one. You can see how much damage Atlan is pumping out. Definitely the main DPS threat for them in that fight. But from the side of PSG, well, Waco and Yubel really just bringing the fight to Impunity.
Yep. And this 4th Dragon will be up in 2.5 minutes. And I think fights are honestly still really even. This is like one of the few games that we've seen that is still even at this point in the game. You know, we've had plenty of games that have started off with an even early game. But, you know, normally it seems like, at least in the current meta, that by kind of that 30-minute mark, one team is really edging ahead. But here, teams still within 400 gold of each other. And compositionally, pretty similar strengths at the moment.
Yeah, it really just does come down to teamfight execution and even the setup before that as well. Mission getting caught out means that Impunity find it much harder to win out in those fights. So PSG definitely going to be looking to see if they can reproduce that kind of success. What is Yubao building towards?
Shadow Flame, but it's bad. There should definitely be a Rabadons, I think, at this point in the game.
Wait, is it? Shadow Flame doesn't have a Kindle gem, does it?
Oh, it's Horizon focus then.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I feel like you don't see that much on the Rise.
I still think it should be Rabadons.
Gold difference, as you can see, has spawned back and forth, but now is relatively leveled out. Pretty much exactly leveled out, actually. Impunity only a couple hundred ahead at this point. So really, very much equal strength on both sides.
Yeah, now 1 minute on the Ocean Dragon here. It really comes down to, like you said, teamfight execution and who has control of the area beforehand. I think Driver also needs to make sure that he can find some sort of flank. That Kindle Gem actually just got sold, by the way, so not sure why he had it either. Is now going towards the Shadow Flame. But yeah, 45 seconds here. Driver's not yet here, but will perhaps look to TP in on a flank. And PSG, they're going to be able to get control with Driver showing in the side lane.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Driver actually opted for the Hull Breaker, which I feel like is a little bit suboptimal when there's so many 5v5 fights breaking out constantly. I feel like he isn't going to be able to get maximum value out of that, but Impunity, it looks like they're going to try and play around that and make sure he can have as much sideline time as possible. Wako looking in on mission, drops the culling. Alex going to soak up the majority of that though. Ooh, Arjun knocks Alex back, but Wako actually has mission separated down. Mission dropped very low. Has to use the chains. Doesn't quite connect. Tidal Wave gonna find Atlan, and now he's dropped very low, stunned up, all out, but he does have the stopwatch available to buy himself some more time. Driver gonna stun them up. Atlan given some more breathing room, finding the orders now onto Yubao. Yubao now forced to stopwatch as well. And Yubao is really in trouble, shut down by Mission. Atlan cleaning up this fight. Double kill picked up for Mission as well. Driver now chasing down Woody and Husha. Waco splitting off on his own little journey. And Driver's gonna find one. Mission likely gonna find Wako as well. It's hard to see him finding a way out of this one. And yeah, so many kills picked up for Impunity. They might even look for a potential end angle here. I don't know, it might be difficult.
Yeah, I think here you probably just go inhib Dragon or inhib Baron. I think that fight, I mean, I just want to know how Yubao ended up in the middle of the team there, because I think that it was really well started off by Wako. He got a lot of entry damage and was definitely in a good spot. Are they actually going to play for the end here?
I think Impunity are going for it. There's still 20 to 15 second death time is left for PSG. Husha is the only surviving member. He has to try and clear out this wave, but Vault Breaker's backwards, and now Mission going to go on the aggressive. 2 towers gone in the blink of an eye. Husha looking now, but it's too little too late. Impunity going to pick up the upset win tonight against PSG Talon.
Yeah, and that's a big win for Impunity. They stopped their loss streak, and they're going to make sure they don't finish week 2 just with 0 wins. And also, one thing I always say, you're only as good as your last game. So if you win your last game, you're the best team in the world, of course, right? But yeah, I think Impunity... Look, I don't think either team played it incredibly clean, but Impunity, they executed well when it mattered. And I actually think despite the fact there was a lot of mis-execution, it was still a pretty high-level game, right? Like, clearly we could see these are 2 of our stronger teams. And that's like going to happen, right? When you do play against other strong opponents, you're going to naturally make mistakes as well. So yeah, I think it was a pretty good game, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Nature popping the love heart at the end, and you can tell how happy they are and almost like relieved, you know, that they managed to close that one out against PSG Talon, one of the bigger contenders in this last week, I guess. You know, they've looked so strong.